Abigail, can you hear me? Oh, okay. Abigail's network kicked off. Okay. Um, so hi Abigail. Can you hear me now? Is it better?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
And it
Okay.
went off.
That's fine. Yeah, I understand. So I was asking how your day is going.
Bless God, my day is going fine. How about
Yes, my day is going pretty much well. I was asking also that I hope you
yours?
don't feel nervous.
I think concerning that, I'll be fine.
Are you
We'll
feeling
be fine.
nervous?
No, not really. Not really. Just trying to make myself comfortable, but not really feeling nervous.
Can you hear me now? Sorry. Can you hear me?
Am I still audible?
Yeah.
Yes,
You're very
yes, I
audible.
can hear you. Let me turn on.
Okay. Yes, once it is 5:10, we would, I mean, we're already live, but once it is 5:10, the session officially kicks off. So just going to be doing a little bit of DJ work, playing some music, and while we wait for other people to join the session. And by the way, you look pretty. You look pretty. I love
Thank you.
your
I can say
looks.
thank you so much. I can say the same
I
about you.
love it. Oh, really? I mean,
I
you're
can say
just
the
seeing
same
my
about you.
face.
Yes,
Thank
like
you. Thank
and your
you.
dentition is actually very, very
Oh,
beautiful.
you're making me shy. Thank you.
How is
Thank
it
you
was
very much. Okay, so I know, right? You
smart?
also look very pretty. You look very pretty. All right, so let me
Thank
be doing
you.
a little bit of jam since we are expecting beautiful community members to join. I will just pull up my screen, and once it is 5:10, can you hear my background song or the music rather?
No, I'm seeing your screen now, but I'm not hearing anything.
Okay. Just give me a minute. Let me just do another prompt. While I since the DJ is not coming up, but please just give me like a quick minute. And apologies about the challenge.
No, that's fine. We are in this together. Abba, that's very fine.
Oh, okay. I mean, this is really very sad, because we're already live on YouTube and it's already been streamed. Okay, so I think we would just wait for them to join. But while we are waiting for the ladies to join the call, I mean, it's also like an opportunity for me to also learn something new. It's also an opportunity for me to learn, right? So again, I really do not want to take much of our time, neither do I want to move this session to another day. So I will just kick off the session and yeah, again, finger crossed to join. So I mean, again, it's really so good to have you here on the call, Abigail, and looking at how things have been, a bit about what ATG Connect series is all about, by the way. It's a monthly event. We do have on a monthly basis, right, where we have guest speakers come to share their wealth of knowledge around conversations ranging from the technical aspects around that. Please confirm if you can hear me. Okay, there seems to be like a lag. Hi, Abigail.
I can hear you now. Sorry about
I'm
that.
not sure what is happening. Okay, can you hear me?
Hi, hi. Hello, can you hear me?
Okay.
Yes, I
Yes,
can.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Okay, so I was just walking through what the ATG Connect series is all about. And I think my first question would be that I mean I do already have like a little detail about what you do, and you're already like a UX designer, right? And you do have like a bachelor's degree in electrical electronics, right? But I think I'd like to hear from you, just to like a quick introduction of who you are, because I mean, I just like to hear beyond what is in your bio. I mean, you already shared your bio with us, but then I'd love to hear beyond what is in your bio, who you are, right?
All right, that's fine. Um, as you know already, like I'm elated actually. I Abigail, I started I studied electrical electronics as you've seen already, and also currently pursuing something that I just wanted to do it for maybe money or the easier way around, the easier way around it. I started my journey in 2019, and to be honest, like it's actually what I started my tech career with was a field called robotics. I don't know if you have any idea about robotics engineering. Exactly. So I started as
Yeah.
a roboticist, right? And it was very, very, very interesting because for someone like me who loves to like see my projects come to life, so you would want to code everything. Once you are done coding, once you are putting the whole embedded system, you can draw out your PCB, do everything, and you're fine. You're seeing everything. So it was very, very, very interesting, right? I think I did that for about 4 years, 4 years before transitioning into UI UX in 2021, right? And somebody would say, how did robotics and UI UX, how exactly do they meet? Like, the fact is, it started from embedded system. That wasn't my only career this thing, but I'm just talking about those that are actually related to tech, right? You started from, you were an electrical electronics engineering, you did embedded systems, robotics, like that still makes sense. Then you now moved into UI UX. How? Like, why? So I think for me, even though I was coding, like I was still the technical person in our field, right? Because we had some other AI engineers, embedded systems engineers, roboticists that we worked together, right? Even though I was still contributing technically. That is, I write code, connect circuits, do any other thing. But I felt like one of the areas where I excelled more was actually packaging the end product. I don't know if that makes sense. It was actually making the end product useful for the users.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, it was more of when we are trying, when everybody is talking about the technical details. I'm also like, okay, let's talk about the technical details, but I'm quick to put a break to the technical details and
Mm.
say, okay, wait, I understand that this is what we are doing. I understand that this actually makes sense. But what about for the people we are designing for? Right? How are they going to accept this? So I'm always the one to put a break and say, let us go and test. Let us go and do this. Let us go and do that. Right? And it just felt, because anytime they listen to me, it just felt like the product is usually much more successful in the market. You get the whole
Oh,
idea.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like it felt like people actually accepted it. It was very useful for them. A very good example would be, I don't want to bore so much with details, so maybe I should just move on. And so when I learned about UI UX later on, like around late 2021, learned about UI UX, I wasn't really particular with the UI, because it's more of, when people talk about UI UX, they talk about it in the relationship with, oh, you are designing softwares and all. But my introduction to UI UX was actually by Don Norman. So I took a course on Udemy by Don Norman, who is the father of UX, right? So my major introduction to UI UX was actually UX, not UI UX, right? So when I came into UX, after taking that course, I was like, wow, this makes sense. This is what I've been doing, right? Like, I know exactly what I am doing. Like, I just could not put a context to it yet, until I actually saw the Norman's course, until I took the course. So after I took the course, I started looking for places where I can further more advance in UX, because that was my interest. But I did not really see. So I saw UI UX. I was like, well, we can go ahead to do that and filter out the UI later on. And that was just how my whole journey started. And believe me, it has been very, 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 very interesting. It has been a roller coaster. I'm not going to lie. Like, it has been a roller coaster. It has been, yeah, it has been ups and downs, but it has been really, really, really interesting. I can say that. So
Wow,
I think
that's
that is.
that's yeah, that's like a long how do I put it? That's like a very stretched journey, right? Looking at the way your story started from one industry, you found yourself in another line, but then you had like those transferable skills, right? Which helped you easily blend, right? And I think that's like very, very interesting, right? The fact that you were able to do like a self-assessment, looking out for how you are able to even um But I use the word blend. Yeah, I think that's the word blend both. And well, it's not been an easy journey
Yeah.
like you did mention, but I think I'm kind of proud of you. I'm proud of how you've been able to pivot from the robotics. And I mean, right now you're already in the UX space. And I think most people on this call can as well relate to that because I mean, we do have people from our community who are maybe scared of transitioning from one industry to another. And I think it brings me to my next question, right? So, looking at the fact that you're coming from a robotic space, right? And you found yourself in the UX space or the US design space. Can you just quickly walk us through most of the tools that you use currently as a UX designer? Because I'm sure most of the tools you probably when you were working in the robotic space aren't the same tools you are currently using as a UX design. So can you just quickly walk us through that?
All right. So I think one of the very first things I just have to say is you know that currently it is UI UX, right? And it is basically divided into the user interface and the user experience. I enjoy the experience more, but we are still adding the two together, right? So currently for UI we use various tools. You can, and I personally believe that based on what you are comfortable with. But currently in the industry, Figma is much more acceptable, right? Figma is much more like there's so much noise around Figma than any other tool currently. Yes, there's so much noise around Figma, but we have other tools like a lot of people don't know. We have tools like Sketch, we have tools like Adobe XD, we have various tools like that. But I primarily really use Figma, right? And for UX, you have various tools as long as they make your research easier,
Okay.
and you have whiteboards
Mm.
like FigJam, Miro,
Mm-hmm.
and so
Yeah.
many other tools that
Mm-hmm.
you can just do your research together.
Mm.
Exactly.
Okay. So talking about Figma, right? I mean, I see it, I use it, not like I use it often per se. It can be a little bit tricky for me. Seeing that I'm not from the design area. So I try to use tools like Canva. Do you think there is a difference between Canva and Figma, or do they serve the same purpose?
For design, for graphic designs and all like that. Figma is for UI designs and more.
Oh, okay. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. All right. So I mean, I did have to raise that question because I mean, I'm coming from the non-design area. So again, it's good to add to my wealth bank. So I think my next follow-up question would be that again, still on tools, right? For beginners who are maybe just transitioning into the UX design space, they might sort of like feel overwhelmed, right? By all of these tools. You did mention Figma, you mentioned Miro or Miro. Like, I'm not sure I probably pronounced that well. You mentioned some couple of tools, right? So which of these tools do you think they should sort of like focus on first, and which of the tools can come in later? Okay, I can see that our speaker just dropped off a little bit of technical issue. But yeah, while she's still trying to join the call, I think we can just drop in the chat box if we do have questions for our speaker. Maybe you are just transitioning into the UX UI design space and you have like some challenges. Like me now, I didn't know the differences between Figma and Canva. I thought they had the same purpose. All right, Abigail, we have you back on the call. All right, so good to have you. So I
I'm so
raised a
sorry.
question. I don't know if you got the question or if you want me to come again.
Okay, can you please come again?
Okay, so I was talking about the fact that you did list out some tools like Figma, we have the whiteboard and some other tools, right? Which you make use of in the design space. And I was asking that for beginners who are maybe just transitioning into the industry and they feel so overwhelmed, right, with all of these tools, they don't know which of the tools should they focus on more or which of the tools should actually come later, right? Maybe in the area of the designs, in the area of tools that they should improve on that could build on their technical know-how skills. So which of these tools do you think they should focus on first and the other tools can come in later? From your own POV, by the way.
Okay, so from my own point of view, like being an instructor for this number of years, I usually say something that it is majorly not really about the tools. So one of the very first thing I try to make people understand is that understand the industry you are entering, right? You say I am interested in UI UX. Don't just okay, what are the tools that they use for UI UX and just carry the tool and just start. It makes you it makes you it makes you maybe like somebody that can use the tool. I don't know if you understand. It makes you
Yeah.
just become somebody that can use Figma, for example, is about. So one of the very first things I advise people is, okay, go into UI UX. What does it do? What does it entail? Right? Then from there, you have an understanding of this is what I want to do. Then another thing I usually advise is try to do a relationship between UI UX, like any UI UX product at all, and a physical space. It broadens your knowledge more. And if the person is so much interested in it too, because there's no how you will still start from it too, then I can now say, oh yeah, let's use Figma because this is actually like very widely acceptable right now. But the main thing is not really about the tool. It's about the knowledge you have before you go into that tool, because it will now make it easier for you to move from any tool at all. So you can get to any company tomorrow or any organization tomorrow and they say, oh, it won't be an issue. It's just something that you just brush up in a day or two and you're fine. So that is that about the question. I don't know why my internet is so much interested in just. Sorry, am I still audible? Hello, can you hear me? Okay, all right, beautiful. So I think that's one of the main things I usually advise. Like, don't go for the tool. It is never about the tool. It's more of what you do. Yeah, it's more of what you know.
All right. Thank you so much, Abigail. And apologies for the trip in network. I
It's
think
no problem.
while I go on with my questions, I want to take a pause to see if we do have questions from our community members who are here on the call. If you have questions for Abigail, please do let me know. You can just use the raise button, or you can just drop it in the chat box so that I can call out Abigail's attention to respond to that. So yeah, I think my next question would focus on so I mean you already walked us through um things, or would I call it like an assessment, right? When it comes to beginners trying to understand the tools that are way essential or crucial, right, in their day-to-day activity. So I think when it comes to opportunities, let's say job opportunities, one of the things you will see right now in the job market is beginners are struggling with trying to find their foot right into the job market, maybe not having like enough experiences, having portfolio rejections. Did you face this particular challenge when you were transitioning from the robotic space into the UX space? And how did you navigate it, by the way?
So if I'm being honest with us, portfolio issue is a very, very, very huge issue, right? And the truth is, the more you decide to grow in the industry, the more your portfolio needs to fit that, right? So if you ask me if I have faced it, I am sure that by the time I want to maybe like transition, like just go further, it's something that you still need your portfolio to match that particular level you're actually trying to fit into. So one thing I usually advise a lot of students to do is I tell them one of your biggest portfolio is the online space. Some people may not post about what they do, some people may not. But one of the easiest places like you can get people is maybe on things like TikTok, um, LinkedIn, most especially. Post what you can do, right? Design something today, post it. Design something tomorrow, post it. Then you have your normal portfolio, right? You have your normal portfolio, anyone you can use, Behance or more. But the truth is that what stays in people's faces, because imagine an organization put up, we need a UI UX designer, and 1,000 people applied. It's still the HR that is in charge of the employees in the organization that will still look at that 1,000 portfolios. But imagine they just see you and they know that, oh, I've seen this person over and over again. So number one, the online space is your friend, is like your working portfolio, right? That is one of the easiest ways you can get jobs, because I've seen a lot of people that they will just be like, oh, somebody messaged me because of this, because of that. And that is the beautiful part about posting your work. So at SKI College Right City, we call it something, show your work. Like just show people what you can do. And you'll be surprised, right? You'll be surprised. And yes, so that's it. So your portfolio, use internet, use the social media spaces. And also for your portfolio, make sure that you show them, you also show the thought process. People are more interested in how you think than the final result. A lot of us just want to post the final results, right? Go and look at some of the stories that tell is because they show you what is behind the scene, right? They've shown you what is behind the scene, what went through it, is what this and this. But most times you just come and we are like, you're just plastering it on people's faces. They don't know your thought process. So they also want to know that this person I want to hire can think. So in your portfolio, show your thought process. We call them in UI UX, we call them case studies. Show your case study and make sure that it is detailed enough that a layman can come in and understand it. Use stories. Let them know that this person can think. And online to like just make sure you're showing how your thought process goes. That's it. Thank you.
Oh, wow, wow, wow. That was very rich, like very, very rich. It just took me back to the fact that I also need to go back to the drawing board and also put myself out there, show my thought process when it comes. I mean, like you said, no, I mean, they're actually interested in the final result, but everybody wants to see how you were able to handle these projects, the failures, how you moved forward, and all of those whatnots. Which also brings me to the fact that when you were talking about putting yourself out there, um, I recently, I'm not going to mention names. Someone actually recently reached out. So I did pitch out to that person, by the way. I've been following her and I noticed that, oh, I actually like what she's doing and I would like to be a part of the program that she's actually running. pitched to her and I sent like a message. But before I pitched to her, I read an article and I found like an error in the article that she worked on. And I sent a message that, hi, this is Oluwaseun, and I've been following you. I love what you do. And I saw this error in the article you wrote. And then I just sold myself as to why I should be a part of it. And she responded. Of course, she did respond. At that particular time, I didn't get like a positive response, but more like a what's it called now? Like a slot. But funny enough, yesterday I then got like a positive feedback when she reached out, oh, that she's willing to have me on board. And it felt so amazing. It felt more like, okay, I think I should do more of pitching myself to other people. But by the way, she did check out my LinkedIn profile, because you might be wondering that why did she decide to give me that slot? So she checked me out just to see if I had the capacity and all of those things. So which brings me to the fact that yeah, I'm going to do more of just putting myself out there. Thank you so much, Abigail. That was very, very rich. I think we're almost like wrapping up the session, and I think the next question I would just like to ask, again, if we do have questions for Abigail, please feel free to drop it in the chat box, or you can as well use the hand raise button, which of course I would be giving you the floor. My follow-up question would be that for most people here on the call looking to maybe explore tech or the STEM industry, not necessarily UX design, this particular type, all right, what advice would you give to that person? Right? I mean, they might already be in the tech industry. Maybe they're trying to transition as well, like you did. What advice do you think you want to give such a person?
All right. So I think one of my biggest advice is usually tech is mainly a skill, right? It's just it should amplify something, not you're starting all over again, right? A lot of people will be like, oh, which of these tech skills make the most money? And that's just what they want to go for, right? But that is not all, right? That is not the case. You would notice that a lot of you notice that you can see a videographer today that is doing very okay. Like it is not something that can be weighed, right? So the question is for you. That's usually my question to a lot of people, like what you're interested in. What do you do currently? Right? You can't just skip it. I've had a lot of medical students come to meet me that they want to transition into tech. They don't want to, I don't want to become I don't want to do anything related to medicine again. And or why did you start medicine in the first place? That's usually my first question. Why did you start in the first place? Most times the answers you are looking for is just deep down there. It's just deep there because you need something that even when the going gets tough, you can continue going, right? Because it is not as easy as everybody makes it sound out there. It is not. The market is congested. That's the truth, right? They are still looking for so many people, right? But there would be something that would make you different if it is not in you, like if it's not something that you're interested in. A good example for me would be when I said that I was in robotics. I enjoyed the whole technical process and all. But when I wanted to move into UI UX, it wasn't because I was looking for something easier to do. It was because I felt like, or I believed that, okay, I'm already doing this thing in robotics. How would I transition to UI UX? Now, the major question for me in my coming years is now how to now blend robotics and the UX part, bring it together because I actually enjoy them, right? And that is one of the things that would make you stand out in the industry. So you are not just the next cybersecurity person. You can become a medical inclined cybersecurity or whatever they call them. You can niche down. That's the word. It makes it easier to niche down. Once you can realize that, okay, this is what I actually want to do, and what tech skill can amplify it. So it makes it easier for you to niche down. So the question is not really about what is the next tech skill that is making money. The question is usually, what are you doing right now? Write it down. Okay, how do you feel like this particular, because it is a tool. Tech is just a tool, right? It's like somebody that likes calculation. I like to calculate, but then I found Excel that can make it easier for me. I like numbers. I like working with numbers. You will not see me go to design. I don't like colors. I will not go and start graphic design. That's just it. So don't make it overly complicated for yourself. Find your base zone where you work best, and just find a tech skill that can amplify it more. And believe me, it will be very, very, very easy for you to cross or enter that field. That's it.
All right. I think at this point, I'm just going to say you should actually consider taking up a TED Talk gig, because you really did well with providing insight, sharing your wealth of knowledge, and even convincing me, right? So I think you should also try. You should actually look for TED gigs or maybe other speaking opportunities. But yeah, I think you really did justice to that. So we do have like some couple of questions in the chat box. So Peace is asking, what platform would you recommend for a UI UX designer portfolio?
Okay, as a beginner, you would maybe want to try out Behance. Yes, a lot of people use Behance. So try out Behance for your work. But if you have an idea of maybe local tools or whatever, you can try out Wix and Framer. But as a beginner, just go for Behance. Design your work on Figma, then bring it into Behance. And you know that you can also embed your portfolio. Sorry, you can embed your prototype on Behance. So that's going to make it easier. So just go for Behance if you're a beginner. If you have a little bit of knowledge in no code, you can try out Framer and or Wix for that. Yeah, so that's it. So Behance mainly, or Framer and Wix if you have a bit of idea.
All right. Thank you. Another question from one of our member. So member Mercy is asking if it's possible to have various interests in text like like HTML, CSS, Python, data analysis, as well as bioinformatics, and if it's okay to pursue everything. I'm guessing that's the
All
question
right.
because like yeah.
This is actually a very, very beautiful question, a very interesting question, because it's more or less like this person is unveiling something in me. Is it possible to have various interests in tech? Yes, it is. It is very, 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 very possible. But as I said earlier, my first question would be, where exactly do they meet? Right? Because I'm seeing HTML, CSS, Python, data analysis. I don't know so much about bioinformatics. I'll have to look that up. But these first four that you mentioned, everything is still under data science. Yeah, I think bioinformatics too. You'd see bioinformatics under data science, right? So the beautiful part is you see something in tech that brings everything together. So I think that is where you should look into what brings every single thing together. Is going to make it easier than, oh, I want to just do HTML, CSS separately. So all these are under a particular course called the data science, right? So yes, so with that, it is possible to pursue everything. Just go look up data science and what it actually entails. You will see everything you're talking about. You see them there. All right, thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. And I'm seeing that Mercy was also dropping a thank you. So I'm guessing she already got the message you're trying to pass across. All right, so I think it's pretty much we're almost coming to an end of today's session. So the last question I have for you, Abigail, would be that if you could go back to your younger self, what's one piece of career advice you would give before moving into the STEM industry?
I think one of the things I'm just going to tell my younger self would be start young, start early. That's just the main thing. Like start early. Like a lot of us wait for us to complete school, finish school before I start what I want to start. Or, or no, the best time for you to actually do so many things and fail at it. Pardon my use of words, but failure is part of life. The best time to do that is when you're in school, right? When it's nobody's stressing you for so many things. So I really wish a lot of students can take use of that. Like one of the things that I really enjoy now in my community is seeing 100 level students doing, like, they just do so much. They have so many ideas on this tech. Most of them already have jobs and all like that. Like it's just beautiful watching somebody in 100 level. Like it got to a point, some of the things we had to start managing was they would be like, oh, I'm going to school to make money already. Now I'm making money. I don't want to go to school again. We have to call them down, sit them down. Okay, the money is important, but the degree is also important. Like you just have an edge, right? You don't have to drop one for the other. So that is one of the things I would actually tell my younger self, that Abigail, school is not just go to school and just go to classes and all. Start early and join communities, meet with people, learn a skill, focus on that skill, and just give it your all. The best time for you to fail at it is when you are in school. And if God winning, the truth is that even if, no matter how many times you fail at it, right, by the time you are coming out, you are better than somebody that never really tried at all, because you have way more experience. Somebody would rather prefer to hire you because you know various things not to do already, than somebody that would just start learning from scratch. Exactly. So it's just easier for you to start younger. So that's one of the things I would just tell myself, because I don't think I would really change a lot anything in my career. I love the pivoting, and I'm still looking forward to pivot more. Right. I'm still looking forward to pivot more. So I'll just tell myself that, oh, start early, start as you're entering school like this. Oh yeah, start. And that's it.
Yeah, yeah, that's very beautiful. That's really beautiful. And I really want to say a very big thank you to you, Abigail, because you really did well with breaking, analyzing, letting us. I mean, I'm really going to take all of this nugget from today's call. Once I'm done, right? I'm going on LinkedIn, proper. This is what I learned today. This is what I've been doing behind the scenes and all of those whatnots. So I'm really going to take all of the nuggets. And I want to also believe that most of the ladies on the call would also be applying all of these rights to their daily lives, to their careers, as well as their profession. Thank you so much for honoring our session. Thank you for sharing out of your wealth of knowledge. And I
Thank
want to
you. Thank you so
believe
much for
that
having me.
today, yeah, exactly, right. Today is not just going to be the one time. It's not going to be like a one-off thing. We would like to see you most of our maybe other events where you come share a bit of knowledge. I mean, we are always happy to have you because I actually did enjoy hearing from you, learning from you, and all of those, right? So thank you once again for sharing,
Thank you.
and
Thank you.
thank you
Thank
to
you.
everyone for joining today's call. Um, a quick reminder before we call it a wrap. I'm just going to say that we do have some couple of activities, some couple of events that have been going on within the community, right? So one, if you are not a part of the Afro-Tech Girls community, this is me just nudging you that you should be a part because we have so many lined up activities, events that have been ongoing, and we do have one coming up for the month of June, right, where we have like our resume challenge, we have so many things, right? And I'm not going to spill, right? So if you have not been an active community member, I think this is now is the time for you to pull up your trouser, right? Just pull up your trouser and try to be very active, right? Then The other thing I also just want to cover would be that we should also try to be very active, because there are some announcements that goes out live both on our newsletter and as well as on our community on WhatsApp. So we should try to be sort of like active in showing up for all of these events, right? Because that's one way we can grow beyond where we are right now. And again, thank you so much to everyone, to my colleagues, Abisoye, to Yvonne, Ayo, Adiola, and Moredike. I'm saying a very big thank you to you all. So do have a great evening and do enjoy your weekend. And before we finally go, please do not forget, Abigail just advised us to go and make our post on LinkedIn, right? So this is me saying, go and make your post on LinkedIn. Tag Abigail, please. We didn't get your LinkedIn. I mean, I do have it, but I know other ladies on the call would like to connect with you. So if you don't mind, just dropping it in the chat box so that other ladies can connect with you. And please tag Abigail. She gave you so many tips and nuggets, right? And as well tag Afro-Tech girls again, right? So Abigail, we will be waiting for your LinkedIn URL. Okay, she just dropped it. Thank you so much. So please let's
Thank
connect with
you.
her. Feel free to reach out. So she's also a part of the Afro-Tech girls community. So you can as well connect with her on WhatsApp. But please don't spam her, by the way. All right, we've come to an end of today's session. Do have a great evening and bye, everyone.
Thank you so
Bye.
much for having me.
Yeah, you're
Take
welcome. Bye.
care. Bye. Enjoy your evening.
And you too. Bye.